I pulled my eyes toward the ceilings in tears as my mother-in-law queried my husband for not taking a second wife. It wasn't the first time. She was always like that whenever she paid us a visit, trying her best to persuade her son to do her wish. How long will you keep this firewood you called a wife? My mother-in-law yelled at her son. Emeka stood up angrily. Mama, please, I don't like all this. His mother snapped. You don't like what? Emeka, I am your mother and I want the best for you. Emeka let out a deep breath. It's God that gives children, Mama. His mother was very annoyed. For how long will I wait to see my grandchildren? For good 7 years, Emeka. She yelled and turned her gaze toward me. If you think you can hold my son with your juju not to take a second wife, you lied. I watched her silently as she walked out of the living room. Emeka stared at me and slowly settled beside me. I'm really sorry, dear. Please. I stared at Emeka and said, it wasn't her fault. I was in tears. Emeka pulled me close. It's okay, he said. The fear of losing my husband to another woman made me thought about what my friend told me earlier. Lara once told me about an herbalist with a guarantee of having a child, claiming the man has a great power. Going to an herbalist for help was the last thing on my mind. But do I really have a choice? It had been 7 years since I married Emeka, but I've not been able to get a child. A lot of prayer had been made. Many white garment churches, burning candles and dry fasting for days, still nothing has happened. The pressure from my mother-in-law made me sick. I just can't stand the heart of my husband taking a second wife, so one day, I summoned a courage to see an herbalist. The following day we started the journey. I was more than sad about the decision I took. God, why do I have to go through all this? What is my sin, Lord? I was crying bitterly inside my heart. You've been quiet. Lara said. Are you sure you want to do this? I looked at her. I'm fine. Lara studied my face for a few seconds. Okay, oh. She leaned back in her chair of a Toyota bus that was taking us to Abeokuta. As the bus rolled to a stop, we alighted, stretched my body, cramped from the long journey. Let's take a bike. Lara said. This way. The shrine was located in a very small quiet village. It took us another 45 minutes from the main town to the village. How did you get to know this place? I asked, staring at the few houses in the small village. I can't see anyone around. Are there people living here? Lara stares around and said. Most of them must have gone to farm. A friend brought me here when I got poisoned. I was shocked at Lara's words. Poisoned? When? Lara let a deep breath. It's a long story, last year news. She sighed. We are close, the next house. She pointed toward the shrine. The compound was quiet. Lara glanced around. Good afternoon, she knocked. Is anyone home? You may enter. A cracked voice came from inside. Lara pushed open a wooded door and we walked inside. Baba, it's me, Lara. The old man wore a red garment and he was sitting down on a mat backing the entrance of the shrine. He turned toward us as we stepped inside. Oh, Lara, my daughter. He pulled himself to his feet. How are you, my daughter? Please do sit down. Lara smiled softly. Baba, this is my friend I told you about. The herbalist's brows drew together thoughtfully. Oh, welcome, my dear, he said and cleared his throat. Put your mind at rest. As long as you're able to make it here, God will give you have a child. I gave him a weak smile. Thank you, Baba. The old man walked into a small room and was back within minutes with a white cloth, then sat down opposite us on his mat. What is your name? He asked. Ikechi, I said in quick reply. He turned his gaze toward the white cloth. He threw some cowries on the white cloth after saying some incantation, and stared at me silently for a moment. Show me your left hand. I stretched forward my left hand while he studied it for some minutes, and laughed. You will have a child. But don't be surprised if you lose someone very close to you. Lose someone. Fear shadowed my voice. I slid my gaze to Lara. I don't understand. The man looked at me and said, someone is responsible for the mystery rocking your marriage, and as long as she's alive, you will be able to have a child. Lara stared at him thoughtfully. Baba, please, open up to us. We don't understand, she pleaded. He turned his gaze toward me, and studied my face for a moment. Your mother-in-law is the reason why you could not have a child. He finally said. I was shocked. My what? Did you just say my mother-in-law? I swallowed hard and turned my gaze to Lara. Did you hear what he said? Lara drew in a deep breath. This is unbelievable. How possible? How could my mother-in-law be responsible? The one quarreling with me for not giving her a grandchild. I couldn't believe what the old man had said. Baba, please help me. My voice trembled. The herbalist stared at me for a moment. Relax your mind, young woman. You will have a child, but you must do the necessary things to make it happen. You will need to be strong to fight this battle. He brought out a small calabash from a corner. It was filled with black soap. Take this. You will have to bath with the soap inside this calabash for 7 days. Each day at midnight. I collected it from him, feeling confused. Will I have a child after that? He laughed. Do as I have instructed you, and you will see the result. To be continued.